This is a review of Johnnie Walker's Double Black Scotch Whisky.
Hi, I'm Jo. This is Maximo. We're Tipples and Treats, and today we've got another whisky. This is a Johnnie Walker whisky.
And double black.
Double black.
Yeah, two blacks are better than one.
Maybe.
Let's hope so.
And you treated yourself for Father's Day.
I did. Indeed I did. So this is a blended Scotch whisky.
Okay. So Johnnie Walker is a very famous name, isn't it?
It is.
It's very well known.
Very well known. It's probably one of the biggest selling brands of whiskies in the world. There's advertising everywhere for it, so it's highly recognised.
Yes, and this little logo here,
the walking man.
Yep, is very
with
well
the top
known.
hat.
Yep.
It's a very iconic sort of.
So they do
brand,
all sorts. I've seen red label, black label.
Yeah, well, there's not much left, but here is a red label, and that's I guess the entry level to Johnnie Walker. I've had a number of bottles of the black label. I think the red label, the entry level, is a bit rough, and we've got some that we can taste as a comparison.
But you've clearly drank quite a bit of that over time. So what have you used it for?
Mainly in mixers. I think it's a reasonably inexpensive and affordable whiskey. So generally speaking, it's if someone wanted, say, a Scotch and Coke or something like that, or perhaps even a cocktail. The Johnnie Walker Red is my sort of go-to as a mixer.
Scotch and Coke. I mean, is that sacrilege?
It's sort of pretty old school, sort of 80s, isn't it?
I don't know.
Disco. Anyway.
I wasn't really drinking Scotch in the 80s.
No, I probably shouldn't have been. But anyway, this particular this one,
double black.
It's double black, so it's 40% alcohol. I think, if I'm not mistaken, most of Johnnie Walker's alcohol,
or less than that.
It's 40. The red is 40% as well. So it's a double black. I'm not really sure what the difference between a black and a double black is, but supposedly it's better. It's certainly more expensive. And this was $80 on sale for a litre bottle, which it's not too bad. And the recommended retail price is $98 Australian. So it's it's not super cheap. Let's open that and we'll get some glasses. So this has actually won a number of awards. San Francisco Spirit Awards 2015, it won a double gold. And again in 2014, it won a double gold.
So it's still distilled in Scotland?
It is, and it won a gold in the International Spirits Challenge in 2020. So quite a number of awards.
Very dark. It's like
dark bottle. It's like a frosted.
It's blue.
Bluey grey, I think. Yeah.
That's an odd colour for a whiskey.
It is.
They're usually mostly clear, aren't they?
I think so, mostly. Yeah, it's maybe, I don't know, a little bit special perhaps.
Double black.
The colour of this is quite sort of toffee colour, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of with the range of whiskey colours. I'll just put it somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
It's not very light. It's not very dark.
The thing about the colour is that having done some research on the interwebs, that there's added colour to this. Now, if I knew that, it's not actually listed on the bottle anywhere, but if I knew that, I probably wouldn't have bought that.
Yeah.
Because I'm into, no preservatives and certainly no colourings, but there's Caramel E 150A colour added to this, whatever that is. But I guess, that's a little bit disappointing. I think some of the Scotches do have added colourings, and it's just a bit disappointing when they do that. I'd rather have it natural as it comes rather than.
Yeah. I agree. But it makes you wonder that the colour is pretty awful before they put the colour in.
Yeah, maybe it's colourless. Who knows? Maybe it's just not aged enough. I don't know. It's blended, so there's probably a number of different
Maybe it comes out
batches
a muddy colour when it's blended. I don't know.
It's probably filtered. I wouldn't have thought so. Anyway.
Would like to know more about that. It's a bit smoky.
A bit smoky. It's primarily smoke, isn't it?
It's quite a weird smell, actually.
It is. It's certainly that burnt, smoky. It's a tar smoke.
Not enjoying the smell. Not enjoying the smell.
It's primarily smoke. It's maybe like a hint of maybe vanilla, and there's maybe a hint of what used to be fruit before it got cremated. Well, it's probably going to be quite peaty, and I have sort of warmed to some of the peaty scotches of late. So
I have not.
You haven't?
No, I'll try it, but I'm not sure I'm going to like this. Sometimes it can taste a lot different than the smell.
It's quite peaty, isn't it? It's quite peaty. It's actually initially quite creamy and smooth.
Oh, I do.
And then it doesn't really burn, but the smoke sort of builds, doesn't it?
I do not like that.
You don't?
No. That is not for me.
Not for you?
No.
Not for the uninitiated?
Disclaimer, I am not a whiskey expert. I just like the odd little taste. But there is some weird taste in that. Fairly unpleasant.
For you?
Aftertaste. The finish is...
That's a high peat level. There is some sweetness, there's some creaminess, but I think it might be overpowered by the smokiness, I think. For me, I don't think that's that well balanced.
It's like a weird chemical aftertaste.
Food colouring? Is that
well,
fair to say?
It's not a food flavouring. Can you taste food colouring?
No, I don't think so.
I'm done.
You're not having any more?
No.
Oh, goodness.
No.
All right, so I shall persevere.
Persevere.
So you're done?
I am done.
I don't think you've ever called it quits halfway through a tasting, have you?
No. That's why we're trying things, to see if we like it, surely. Someone else might love it, but...
The ice has cut down the nose a fair bit. It's cut down the peatiness.
Don't care. Better?
No, I think that the peatiness still cuts through. It's not.
Is it too much for you?
No, I don't think so. I think I'd have to be in the mood to want to drink this. I think you've got to be in the mood for it. I think some of my peaty whiskies, and there's a couple, or there's one in particular back there that is quite intense, and one, it was quite expensive, but number two, it was sort of as peaty as this, perhaps maybe a better rounded whiskey, but I think that's for occasional drinking. It's for Father's Day. It's a little bit of a disappointment, I think. I think I have grown fond of peatiness, but I think the whiskey has to be well balanced in order to support that. And I think with this one, perhaps the peatiness overpowers some of the other flavours.
Yeah. There's a weird... For me, I can taste something chemically in there.
There's certainly... It's a very long finish. It's sort of almost a chemical aftertaste.
Yeah.
I think the more the ice is melting, the more mellow.
Okay, so
it's become, but the prevailing taste is of the peat, the smokiness.
So with the red label, we've put a little bit of that in a glass.
in a special Japanese glass, but anyway.
Just so we don't get them mixed up.
That's right.
I'll taste this and see what I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell of anything in particular at all.
Right. So
It's a different glass though, it doesn't concentrate the aroma.
And this is the red label Johnnie Walker. There's not much of this left.
It's a lot
Bitier.
mellower,
Mellow.
but it's a little bit...
Rough. It's a good thing we both had COVID.
Leaves something weird on the tongue, I think. I actually can't identify any flavours in there.
I think the smokiness I'm still getting.
Yeah, you kept drinking, yeah.
That's not as bad in comparison as it's actually out of the two. I think I'd prefer the red label.
Well, I would, because that is like not good at all.
No, I think the red label has an oiliness to it, perhaps.
I don't know. There's something.
Certainly not much of a nose of anything, is there?
No, there isn't.
It's more peppery, I think.
I'm not sure. But really interesting to know if you've tried any of the Johnnie labels.
Yeah.
If you have, let us know which one and what you thought about it in the comments.
Yeah, but for me, I think the double black is a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
And that ends on a very disappointing note, Jo. So tell us what you think, but yes, it's probably not one that I would buy again.
No.
So hopefully you've liked this video. If so, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll endeavour to do more reviews in the coming weeks. And then on that disappointing note, cheers.